There's a big difference between selling your home and selling your home for the highest possible price. And a big part of that has to do with how the home is prepared for sale. So in this video, I'm going to be going over the 3 best strategies to prepare your home to sell for top dollar. And stick around till the end. I'm going to be giving a 4th bonus ninja secret strategy that I've personally used to list and sell nearly 100 homes here in the San Francisco Bay Area, always resulting in the highest possible price for my sellers. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Danny Gould. I'm the CEO of the Selling Silicon Valley Group. Over the last 8 years, I've sold over $200 million worth of real estate here in the San Francisco Bay Area. And when it comes to preparing a home for sale, there are 3 strategies that we have seen work time and time again, and I'm going to share those with you right now. And just as a disclaimer, these are my thoughts, and so obviously everyone has different opinions, everyone has different strategies on how to properly position a home for market, but these are strategies that have worked for me and for my clients time and time again. I have over 250 5-star reviews on Google, so you can go check those out for yourself. Lots of happy clients, lots of happy home sellers that know without a shadow of a doubt they've received the highest possible price because there's a system and a formula that we use every single time to ensure that. So the first strategy that I would recommend to you as you're preparing your home for sale, and one of the things that we do is we have a consultant come into the home during the preparation phase, and her entire job is to get the home curb appeal ready. We call it the Curb Appeal Consultation. We need to make sure that the home pops on the pictures, and we need to make sure that it pops on all the sites, and her job is specifically to go in there and make sure that everything, like the paint and the carpet and whatever you have in the house, all physical aspects, cosmetic aspects of the home are in alignment with the market. Now I know what you might be thinking, you're like, oh wow, that sounds expensive, like she's gonna come in and tell me to change everything. No, actually what we do is we put together a list of all the free things that we can do to get the home ready for sale, curb appeal wise, and all the low cost items that we could do. And she basically puts together like 3 different tiers. Free, a couple $1,000 and maybe like $5,000 to $10,000 worth of work. Never in excess of that unless we're talking like a multi-million-dollar price point, and then we prorate those dollar amounts according to the price range of the home. As a marketer, I understand that we have literally milliseconds to make an impression on home buyers. What I like to do as a marketer is put myself into the shoes of the consumer. So your buyers, how are they searching for properties right now? They're looking for properties online primarily. And it's practically the same habits across the spectrum here in terms of home buyers. They are at work all day, they're doing things with the kids all day, the activities and whatnot, and then they get back home, they're tired, they've had dinner, they kick off their shoes, they pull out their laptops, and they have Netflix on in the background, and then full zombie mode, just clicking through Redfin, clicking through Zillow, click, 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 click. And then all of a sudden, they see one that they like. We have literally a second to 2 seconds to make an impression. And so we gotta make sure that we're doing everything that we can to make an impression right off the bat. Now, what you gotta look out for are the realtors that come in and start giving you design advice themselves. Real estate agents are not designers. They are marketers and they're negotiators. And if they come in there telling you that, oh, well, you gotta change this and you gotta change that, I have not met a real estate agent in my career that has like a design degree. And so we want to leave those opinions to the professionals and the experts that actually know what they're talking about. My job is better spent talking to buyers and talking to agents and making sure that we're exposing the property, and we're gonna go into that in a second. But during all of that, and while we're doing all of that, we're leaving the other interior and exterior design advice to a professional that actually has design advice in the hands of a true design professional. Things that have been recommended to our clients before that they have taken her up on: changing carpet, changing paint color, those sorts of trivial things. We're not doing major repairs to the house. We're just doing small cosmetic work if that is what they choose to do. And a lot of times our Curb Appeal consultant will go into the property and say, hey, almost everything in here is perfect. In fact, we don't even need to stage the property because the furniture looks great. We just need these like little accessories. And so she'll actually map out what those accessories look like and give a suggestions list. So that's really her job, is to give advice that is going to help us be in the best position to appeal to the widest market possible. So that's strategy number 1. Hire a consultant to come in here and give us the curb appeal advice that is going to make the home pop. All right, strategy number 2 is get pre-sale inspections. This is something that I absolutely recommend every home seller does. Why? Inspections are an insurance policy on the escrow. What I mean by that is typically, if we get inspections done, we're going to find damage to the house. There's going to be things that are found in the inspection report. And it's better to disclose those to the buyers up front as opposed to the buyers being surprised with that information during escrow. In this market right now, we are typically seeing multiple offers on most of the listings. And when we are in a multiple offer situation and we have pre-sale inspections, more often than not, buyers will come in without an inspection contingency. They will forego their right to do inspections on the property and just take ours and use those as the information that they need to move forward with the contract. If we don't get pre-sale inspections, then that won't happen. Buyers, even if we have a multiple offer situation, will almost always include an inspection contingency. And if they do that, we are putting ourselves at risk for the buyer to do one of two things. They can either renegotiate during the escrow period if they find those items, or number two, and even worse, they could cancel the contract altogether if they find something that they don't like. Inspections typically cost around $1,000 in the Bay for an average size home, and that scales up and down accordingly. And that usually covers property inspection, which is like electrical, plumbing, all the basics, termite, and roof. You're almost always going to find way more than $1,000 worth of damage on the property. And by disclosing all that information up front to the buyer, what you're doing is you're mitigating the risk of the buyer coming back during escrow and saying, hey, we found $10,000 worth of work that needs to be done at this property. Can you pay for 7 of these? Or can you cover all 10,000 of these? Or even 5,000? Even if they want to split the difference 50-50, that's $4,000 more than you would have paid if you had just given them the reports up front. Because what happens is if we give those reports up front, in my experience in a multiple offer situation, that never factors into the final sales price. Unless there's something egregious on the reports, like $40,000 or $50,000 worth of repairs that need to be done. In that case, obviously, that is going to factor into the price. But if the buyer finds that amount of work needs to be done to the property once they're in contract, more often than not, that is going to scare them off and they're going to cancel the contract altogether. Versus if we just disclose that information up front, sure, it'll be factored into the price, but at least we have an insurance policy on the buyers actually sticking around. Because at that point, once they sign off on those reports, that becomes a part of the total disclosure package. And as a result, they cannot use those reports as a means to get out of the contract once we are in escrow. Bottom line is that pre-sale inspections are an insurance policy on the escrow that the buyers don't back out. There's usually an insurance policy on the final price as well, because chances are if the buyers were to find all of those things out during escrow, you're going to have to reduce the price by more than the $1,000 you originally paid for the inspections. The third strategy is one of the most important ones because it has to do with how we price or position the home to the market. And so we might have an idea of what the home is worth or what the value is and what we want to price it at. But one of the things that we are doing as I'm preparing a home for sale is I am calling all of the pending sales in the neighborhood about a week before we go on the market, even up to a few days before we go on the market. Regardless of whether the market conditions are going up, down, or neutral, it's important to know what other homes in the area are currently pending for. It's a litmus test for what this listing, so what we could expect for your home. If all we are doing is looking at the sold inventory, then that's representative of the demand and what the homes were selling for 30 to 45 to 60 days ago. Because when a home goes into contract, it usually takes 30 days to close. So I'd like to get closer to the deal. I'd like to get closer what the market is doing today. The best way to do that is to look at what the demand is for similar properties in the neighborhood by figuring out what the homes that are currently pending are selling for. Now, how do I do that? Well, I just call the listing agents. I call the agents who are representing the sellers for the listings around the property. And more often than not, they're pretty helpful. I mean, sometimes they won't give me the price and that's okay. But typically, if all contingencies have been removed, and even sometimes when not all contingencies have been removed, they'll at least give me a price range if they don't give me a solid dollar amount. Oftentimes what happens is that insider information will actually cause me and my clients to readjust our pricing strategy in the days leading up to us going on the market. If we underprice the property by too much, then we're giving away negotiation leverage. And if we overprice the property by too much, then we're putting ourselves at a disadvantage because not all of the buyers that should be seeing the home are going to be seeing it. And so by keeping a pulse on the market in the weeks and days leading up to us going on the market, we can make sure that we're not putting ourselves at a competitive disadvantage by underpricing or overpricing the property. All right, if you've made it this far in the video and you're not yet subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? Click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and give us a thumbs up while you're at it. It costs you nothing, and it helps us get in front of more home buyers and sellers here in the Bay Area just like you. And as a token of my appreciation, I'm gonna give you a fourth bonus ninja secret that we've used to list and sell nearly 100 homes here in the San Francisco Bay Area. And that is our pre-launch momentum marketing strategy. As the home is being prepared for sale, as all of those things that we just talked about are being done, the best strategy for any agent to be doing is to be reaching out to high leverage contacts. What does that mean? Well, it means talking to the people that are likeliest to have a buyer or to know of a buyer that is going to be buying in your area. So the preparation phase also involves a marketing component to it as well. We're reaching out to agents who have had transactions in your zip code over the last 12 months because we know that if they have a transaction, they're more likely to have another client for us. By that same token, we're reaching out to your neighbors. We're also reaching out to our exclusive database of home buyers that have come through our website. We have like over 12 or 13,000 home buyers that are registered right now. And we reach out to the people that are looking for properties in your neighborhood too. The reason that we do all this is because we want to create a buzz around the property. And we want to create momentum going into the first week of the listing. Most agents just kind of sit on their hands and wait for the home to go on the market before they start doing their job. But what I know is that if you take a sprinter who is at a dead start and you take a sprinter who is at a running start, which one do you think is going to win? It's always the one with the running start. So this pre-launch marketing, all it does is it helps give us a running start and it helps give us a competitive advantage around other properties whose agents are not doing this. And by creating that buzz, we're effectively using all of that marketing to actually put buyers into showing slots before we're even on the market. Oh, you're interested? Oh, you have a buyer who's interested? Oh, you have a buyer who's interested. That's awesome. My sellers have decided that because of the overwhelming response, we're going to be having all the buyers come in on this day at this time. We start to stack these showings one on top of another, and then we build the open house around those showings so that we're getting the people who are coming in from open house traffic as well as the buyers who we've funneled in through our pre-launch and our pre-launch marketing efforts, as well as our traditional marketing efforts once the home is on the market. We're filtering in all those buyers to create a Black Friday kind of environment. It is not atypical for our listings to have 50 to 100 groups through in the first weekend of open house by implementing and using this strategy. We want to create such a buzz around it that every buyer in your price range wants to see this house. And the best way to do that is to create an exclusivity around the home before we are live, before we're on the market, and using that to drive, to fuel the momentum of the listing once it goes live. I hope you found this information useful. If you'd like to see if our approach is right for your property, we're not for everyone. This approach, this strategy isn't right for every single home, but if you'd like to see whether or not we'd be a good fit for your house, you can reach out to me at the number down below and to schedule a no obligation consultation with myself. I'd be happy to sit down with you and see whether or not it would be a good fit. This is Danny Gould, everyone. I'm selling Silicon Valley, and I will catch all of you in the next video.